Well, good afternoon, my beautiful stars. I hope you are all doing very, very well. This is a continuation of the podcast series, Organized Religion and Division. This is episode 1, part 3A. Please do like, share, comment, and hit that notification bell so that you do not miss out on the next installment. If you've missed part 1A, B, and part 1, 2, AB, please do pop over and go and have a look at those. Let us start with today's dive into organized religion. The Hermit's question. For 3 centuries, Christianity wrestled with profound questions. What is truth? Who has the authority to teach it? How should the church preserve itself? As Christianity became more organized, many of these questions found institutional answers. Creeds were written, leadership became more structured, doctrine became more clearly defined. For millions of believers, these developments brought stability and continuity. Yet history also reveals another story. Alongside the bishops, alongside the councils, alongside the growing institutions, there remained men and women who believed that knowing God required something more than understanding doctrine. It required transformation, not simply of the mind, but of the heart. This is where we encounter another timeless archetype, the hermit. Unlike the emperor, he carried no sword. Unlike the hierophant, he occupies no throne. He issues no decrees. He establishes no institutions. Instead, he walks alone, not because he rejects humanity, but because he is searching for something that cannot be handed to him by another. The hermit's lantern represents an ancient truth. Some questions can only be answered through experiences. As Christianity emerged from persecution into public life, another movement quietly began to grow, not within the cities, but beyond them. Into the deserts of Egypt, Syria, Palestine, men and women voluntarily left behind wealth, status, comfort, and sometimes even family. They were not fleeing the world because they hated it. They were seeking silence because they believed silence revealed what constant noise could not. History remembers them as the desert fathers and the desert mothers. People like Anthony the Great, Snilichia of Alexandria, Macarius of Egypt, and many others whose names are less well known today. They were among Christianity's earliest mystics. They prayed, fasted, worked with their hands, lived in remarkable simplicity. Most importantly, they believed that the greatest battlefield was not the Roman Empire. It was the human heart. To many people today, these lives appear extreme. Why would anybody leave civilization? Why exchange comfort for hardship? The answer was surprisingly simple. They feared becoming distracted and controlled. They believed that power, wealth, recognition, and even religious prestige could quietly become obstacles to genuine spiritual transformation and ultimate control. The Desert Fathers often warned that the greatest temptation was not persecution, it was comfort, settling into control. Once Christianity became accepted within the empire, they worried that believers might begin seeking influence instead of holiness. Whether one agrees with their conclusions or not, their questions remain strikingly relevant. Can any institution remain spiritually healthy once it becomes powerful? Can influence strengthen faith? Or does influence always carry hidden dangers? History does not give us one universal answer, but it repeatedly asks the question. Among the sayings preserved from these desert communities is one simple observation: know yourself. Not because the self is the destination, not because the self is the ego, but because honesty is the beginning of wisdom. Many of these early mystics believed that anger, fear, pride, jealousy, and attachment, greed, distorted the human soul. Long before modern psychology described defense mechanisms and unconscious behavior, they were already examining the inner landscape with remarkable honesty. They understood something timeless. The greatest deception is often the one we tell ourselves. This is where the hermit becomes more than a solitary figure. He becomes a mirror. Every generation inherits beliefs from parents, from cultures, from school, from religious communities, from governments, from the internet. Most of those beliefs are never questioned. They simply become part of the furniture of the mind. The hermit asks us to pause, not to reject everything we have inherited, but to examine it, to ask difficult questions with humility rather than arrogance, to recognize that sincere faith and sincere inquiry are not enemies. Throughout history, many of humanity's greatest thinkers have done exactly that. Some remained firmly within their religious traditions. Others challenged aspects of those traditions. Still, others sought wisdom where they could find it. What united them was not certainty. It was courage. The courage to keep searching. This is also where our story becomes personal. Every one of us has inherited a world view. Whatever we were raised in, a church, a mosque, a synagogue, a temple, in nature, or in a non-religious tradition at all, we all carry assumptions about reality. Most of the time we never notice them until something challenges them. A difficult conversation, a personal loss, a historical discovery, a question that refuses to disappear. These moments are uncomfortable, but they are also deeply, deeply human. The hermit reminds us that genuine growth rarely begins with having all the answers. It begins with the willingness to ask honest questions. This series is not inviting you to abandon your faith, nor is it asking you to accept any alternative viewpoint. It is inviting something much simpler: curiosity, expansion of the mind, the willingness to listen before deciding, the willingness to understand before judging, the willingness to distinguish between faith and tradition, and the institutions that have grown around them. Because those things are not always identical. History becomes clearer when we recognize the difference. As our investigation continues, we will discover that this inner journey is not unique to Christianity. Across Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and many other traditions, there have always been voices calling people beyond ritual alone and toward inner transformation. Different languages, different symbols, different practices, yet often remarkably similar questions. Could it be that beneath the surface of humanity's great spiritual traditions lies a common longing, not for uniformity, but for truth? That is the lantern the hermit carries. He does not claim to illuminate the whole path, only the next fateful step. And sometimes that is enough. Until I speak to you guys soon again, my friends, I hope you guys are enjoying the series. I will see you with episode 1, part 3B in the next sitting. Sorry that I've stumbled across my words a little bit, but you do know how my tongue gets tied every now and then. I really just want to finish off with one last little thing, and I just want to repeat it for us. The hermit carries a lantern not to illuminate the whole world, but only to light up the next fateful step. And sometimes that is enough. Putting one foot forward in front of the other one. One little light at a time. One illumination at a time. One little bit of understanding at a time. One kind word at a time. One less judgment at a time. And I hope, my friends, this has brought some new perspective to you in a world that is so divided by different religions that are organized and run by organizations. Have they truly remembered what the true faith is? Or is it all just about money, control, power, wars, conflict, and dividing a nation? Are they maybe there to divide us even more and just line their own pockets? Stop there for a moment and think. Have these organized religious groups got our interest, our heart's interest, or their interest at heart? As I said, I'm not here to change anybody's religion, anybody's choice, not trying to change anybody. Everybody has got their own opinion, their own faith, their own belief system. But as I said before, stand back for a moment and think how you feel when you tell somebody you watch a tarot channel, you read tarot cards, or even if you walk into a holistic shop. The same judgment you feel is the same judgment somebody else in a different religion might feel. So let us stop dividing and remember the true faith, the true system. And it all comes and it all starts from one place, the heart. And I'll speak to you all soon. Love you all.